Okay, that was frustrating. My stream crashed. If it happens again, then I guess today's live stream is just going to be canceled for today because it is raining. And usually my internet just doesn't want to cooperate with me whenever it rains. Athena, do you sense anything behind his words? I sense his sadness. Sadness so pure is heartrending, but no discord. Prosecutor Sadmati is right. Owen isn't the killer. But then, don't you find it odd? Find what odd? Let's review what we've learned so far. Uendo rearranged the Kurata cards to pin the blame on Bucky. Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Tonito. Exactly. The other three personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards probably wouldn't have been Master Tonito. So then, who did it? Defense? Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out? Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the Kurata cards. But I thought it was the victim, right? No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. The only one who first arranged the Kurata cards on the table was none other than the true killer. I believe the person who laid the cards out is the very person who killed Taifu Tonito. How quickly you move on to a new target when your Owen theory proves false! You Pokukan! I don't know what a Pokukan is, but I know I am definitely not one. And before you start with the sermons, why don't you hear me out? Yes, let's hear the defense as reasonable. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you. I understand, Your Honor. Now then, please recall the original crime scene. Who did the Karuta cards name when the scene was discovered? Let's see. I believe they implicated the defendant, Bucky Wet. That's right, but we then found out that the message originally read Owen 4th. Which implicated the young boy Owen. Exactly. And the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Uendo. Uendo may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew this master was dead. His tampering with the crime scene using the TV all but proves it. I confess. I tampered with the crime scene. The reason Uendo rearranged the Karuta cards and moved the TV was because he saw the Owen 4th message and was convinced Owen had committed the crime. Right on, Prosecutor Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other three personalities don't share the same memories. But really, there is no 4th personality. It's just the three of us in here. Uendo feared that Owen had killed Master Tonito, so he tried to hide Owen from us. Ooh. But it turns out Owen is but a 5-year-old child, incapable of hurting a fly, let alone his beloved master. So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else. And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen! I see. That does make sense. This is not but conjecture composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who then do you maintain murdered the victim? I believe Owen might know something about that. I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old, no less. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent. But, your desperation is disgraceful. You should realize when it is time to let it go, and I saw it. I saw Shisho getting... Owen! You do know something, don't you? Yeah. Oh my, is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree, Prosecutor Sadanmati? It's all right, Owen. Go ahead and tell us what you know. I saw it. Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping out into Shisho's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared. I passed out. This is eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder. Owen, can you tell us anything else about what you saw? Ooh, I was so scared. Ooh, so scared. Owen! His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him. Is he alright? His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him. I recommend a therapy session right away. I see. Yes, please do whatever you can to help the poor boy. Will do, Your Honor. I better find the cause of these out-of-control emotions pronto. Blood was dripping out to Shisho's face, getting all red. It's the blood.
Got it!
Yeah, blood was dripping down onto Shisho's face. Blood? I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos. Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood drip down onto his face? As I expected, all we managed to obtain from this child is a tale he dreamt up. I guess it's a little weird for blood to drip onto the victim's face if he was standing up. Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something? What do you think, Simon? I don't know. Owen's one confused and upset kid right now, so who knows how accurate his memory is. Maybe it's time for that thing instead. Huh? What thing? That thing that you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking about? Oh, you mean turn your thinking around? Yes, whatever. It's the same thing, either way. No, it isn't! Who's ever heard of rotating your thinking? I mean, rotate is... Hey, wait a minute. What? You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate just might work perfectly after all. Come again? All I had to do is rotate things by 90 degrees. When he saw his master, Owen must have been lying on the floor, right? Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder. What? That's the conclusion I arrived at when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees, which means that all of the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees. And? This means Master Tonita was also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery. And which mystery is that? The mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine how that could happen if he was lying down. Like someone bleeding onto Master Tonita from somewhere up above him. I remember now. Somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho. So trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally. The blood that stained the victim's face red from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back. This means his assailant was injured on their face somewhere, like the forehead, perhaps. Assuming the victim and his attacker were face to face, then yes. I see. So that is what happened. But if I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandage on his forehead, does he not? That injury of Mr. Wetz is conclusive evidence that he committed this murder. Why? It seems you have dug yourself into a pit you cannot crawl out of. No! Even though I figured out the reason for Owen's out-of-control emotions, all I did was raise further suspicion against my own client. What do I do now? What's the matter? You aren't thinking of throwing in the towel, are you? But it looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he had both motive and opportunity. Plus, he has that injury on his forehead. Your Honor, I sense that the defense is finally ready to let it go and move on. Well, Miss Sykes, I understand that you don't want to give up on your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason. Welcome back, Luki. Well, that lawyer did her best, but all the signs point to the defendant's guilt. Maybe it's time she gave up. She tried everything she could. I really don't want to back down, but...
Silence!
Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence? I wouldn't say that, it's just... Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning? You mean, you believe me, ma'am? Of course, no matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end. Were those just empty words? Of course not! It's just that all the cards are stacked against us. Are you still stuck on that line of thinking? Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky? I'm Miss Chickadee lawyer. Then do your duty, and believe in him until the very end. I will. Simon is absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer, and he's depending on me. Defense chief, please, no fighting in my courtroom. The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackwell was just giving me a pep talk, that's all. Thank you, Prosecutor. I didn't do it for your sake. I did it for the future of Wet Soba. Yeah, I got it. The defense would like to now continue with Owen's therapy session. Owen, would you be alright with that? Okay. So somebody was sitting up on top of Shisho, bleeding from their head, and smushing something into Shisho's face. That's funny. What is it? I still hear discord in Owen's voice, and I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statement and his emotions, and there don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself either. Ah, so that's it, huh? Did you figure something out? So did they get Owen out into the open? Yes, they did. Owen is a 5-year-old kid. The personality of Owen is a 5-year-old kid. Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. There's actually something he's being very vague about in his testimony. If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence, you should be able to move forward from there. Yeah, he's a 5-year-old kid. Okay, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. So Owen definitely can't be the murderer behind this case, because he actually loved the victim like a grandfather. I'll just update the mood matrix with the new information, and then we'll be ready to go. So I just need to present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh? Shisho had blood on his face, and a knife in his hand. He was on the floor, and somebody was smushing something into his face.
Objection!
Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon right here in this crime scene photo. Unfortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. And the police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where's this murder weapon you see? You don't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. This is what the killer pressed into Master Tornado's face.
Take that!
With soba noodles. The mystery person that Owen saw press soba into the victim's face, thereby suffocating him. I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How could anyone commit murder with soft, delicate soba? The noodles will instantly fall apart if they were pressed into someone's face. Yes, I agree. Well, I disagree. There is a way the soba could have been used to suffocate the victim. What? You'll explain your theory at once, Miss Sykes. To kill Master Tornado, the culprit must have smothered him with uncooked soba noodles, right? No, uncut soba dough. The culprit must have used the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was raw soba dough. What? Order! Order in the court! Yes, soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it? Are you alright, Prosecutor Satomati? I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice, thanks to the foolish lawyer before me. Huh? What are you talking about? Allow me to summarize your statements. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim was was the dough in the dressing. He then disposed of the murder weapon by cutting the soba dough into noodles, Nah! Why, you smarty! Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba noodles and broth to wash off the blood that had dripped onto the victim's face from his own. And there you have it, the true sequence of events behind this foul affair. Now wait just a minute! I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit. Who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles to fend? That's a very good point, Prosecutor Salmati. I heard that coding soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training. But then, what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Uendo's Owen personality. Perhaps the victim was simply playing with the cards, and they hold no other meaning. Perhaps he spelled out Owen's name in jest sometime before his murder. That's true. From Owen's testimony, it's clear that Master Tornado cared for the boy. It appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Taken together, all of these points paint a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt. Owen, is there anything else you could tell us? It doesn't matter how small of a detail. Anything will do. Ooh, you're scaring me. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice. I have to be gentler with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years old. No need to be scared, okay, sweetie? Just tell us anything you can remember. Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me, bleeding from their head. Owen, you saw the killer's face? Oops, I did it again. So who was it, Owen? Do you remember? Ooh, I don't know who it was. I'm picking up some noise. That means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony. I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, you're analyzing the dreams of a child. You've wasted enough of our time, guys. Let it go and move on. No, there's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here. Owen, do you think you could continue your testimony for us? Okay. I'll enter the new info and run an update then. Shisho had blood on his face and a knife in his hand. He was on the floor, and somebody was smushing dough into his face. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. And when I woke up, the person who killed Shisho was standing over me. You're happy about that, so you know who it is. Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling, one of relief. The person the witness saw was no stranger, rather it was the accused. Therefore, it is only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense, end this madness and sell your soul no more. Owen, who did you see? That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume. It's the smell of... You could do it! Try to remember, Owen! Ooh, the smell of... Owen! It seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly have their hands full today down there. Let's continue with the trial. Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant of the Holy Mother that the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion. But what about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit. But there are thousands of perfumes in the world. It could even be the scent of the hair product that the accused uses. He does have one amazing hairstyle, so that's certainly possible. The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products. Why couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky? What's more, the only person who could cut soba noodles with such precision is the accused, and no other. Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that? And So, the person Owen saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused, Bucky Wet. What the? Hey, hey, hey! I never use hair products or anything with a smell. If I wore something like that, the smell get into the soba. Boom! Check it! Mr. Wet, aren't you supposed to be resting in the infirmary? Whatever! You think I'd let my soba stink of perfume? Try that chilled soba for yourself and see. I believe we have no choice but to try it. Strictly for examination purposes, of course. Now then, let's dig in, shall we? That was delightful. Well, I'm satisfied that there are no traces of hair products or perfumes in Mr. Wet's soba. First, sweet bean buns, and now savory soba. What a delectable trial this has been. The texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish we have in Korean called banupan. What'd you think, Miss Chickadee? My soba's pretty good, isn't it? It's delicious, don't you think so, Simon? This still pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine. Simon, why you always gotta be so hard on me? Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary at once for some rest. Fresh? Hey, I ain't a lump of plain old weedy udon dough, you know. I'm fresh like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's about the three freshness of soba. Grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles fresh. Time to go. Good grief. What a defendant. At least Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait, smelly perfume. It looks like you remembered something. The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of a certain somebody. Oh, and who might that be? There's only one person that comes to mind. The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of this person.
Take that!
Garu Tonito. Garu Tonito? Yeah, she did smell very nice, didn't she? Just a moment, defense. You would throw suspicion on Garu now because of a scent? Your Honor, there is no need to go along with these ever-changing claims of the defense. I suppose their claims have been awfully inconsistent. But Garu could have been at the crime scene. Yes, but you'll get to see those balloons of hers if we call her back to the witness stand. How vulgar! His Honor is not interested in such things. Ahem! Setting the matter of her balloons aside entirely. I do believe it's appropriate to ask Garu some questions, given the circumstances. This has nothing to do with her balloons, of course. Thank you, Your Honor. Pokunka! Thank you for calling this disciple of the Tenno School of Rakugo back for an encore. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Garu Tonito. 1, 2, balloon! A wonderful balloon artistry. Your Honor, please. Now then, what would you like me to make for you this time? Actually, I called you back for more testimony. But I'm all talked out. This case has left me completely deflated. Yeah. What? You didn't find that funny? Anyway, what exactly is going on, Simon? It seems the person who murdered Master Tonito was wearing perfume. And you were the only person I could think of who wears perfume. Wait, you mean I'm a suspect now? Garu, you knew about Owen, right? Well, yes, I have to play with him at Shisho's request. That means you could have left that fake dying message, right? What? Just because I wear perfume and know Owen? You think I'm a murderer? Oh, how could you? The witness is absolutely right. with no evidence but the distorted memories of a small child. It is outrageous of the defense to accuse this woman. That's right. You don't even have any proof. You may step down from the stand, Garu. The defense does not have one scrap of evidence that connects you to the crime. Wait just one minute. I may not have proof, but Owen's testimony is still... Enough! Please feel free to leave, Garu. But I'm so close. There must be something I can do. Well, if the prosecutor says it's okay, then I guess I'll be going.
Silence!
Hoi, Garu. You're an entertainer, aren't you? Once you go on stage, it's your duty to complete your performance, is it not? So what are you doing, leaving halfway through? Ah! Hello, bandage! There's a bandage on Garu's forehead! And since we know that Master Tornado's killer has a cut on their face somewhere... Impossible! How did you know, Simon? I didn't, but I had to take a chance and see for myself. Otherwise, your theory would remain a groundless accusation. Your Honor, Prosecutor Sadmati, the scent of perfume, an injury on the forehead, these things are completely consistent with Owen's testimony. In short, the mysterious individual Owen saw in the dressing room could have been Garu. Miss Sykes, does this mean you are formally indicting the witness for the murder of Taifu Tornado? Should your accusation proves to be false, I hope you're prepared to pay the price in full. So, Simon, what price is he talking about? I thought that should be obvious. Prosecutor Sadmo can say he'll see to it you never stand in a court of law again. I must say, though, he knows how to make a trial interesting. Just whose side are you on, Simon? Go on, then. Into the deep end with you. You really have but one choice, anyway. Well, Miss Sykes, I'm waiting. With regards to the witness Garu Tornado, the defense wishes to indict her. There's no reason for me to hold back. Not if I really believe in my client. The defense wishes to formally indict Garu Tornado for the murder of Taifu Tornado. They tried to be merciful, but now not even your pleas will reach the Holy Mother's ears. You'll have plenty of time to regret your decision in the pit of hell. Except I won't need to. The person who murdered the victim was not Mr. Wet. It was Garu Tornado. That bandage is just from a silly slip-up I made while cooking yesterday, that's all. What kind of extreme cooking were you doing to cut yourself on the forehead? Well, what can I say? That's what happened. You also don't have an alibi for the period before 4 p.m., do you, Garu? But, I really don't know anything was wrong. No, anything was wrong until Shisho was found dead. Cooking soba noodles, man. If you don't believe me, then with a twisty twist... And balloon. There you have it. An adorable little kitty. How could you suspect a cutesy little balloon artist like me, Garu, I've been meaning to say this for a while now, but could it be that you don't have an eye for balloon art? Don't you think I know that? You didn't have to come out and say it. I'm the daughter of a great Rakugo artist. I never wanted to do stupid balloon art. I was supposed to be a Rakugo storyteller too, just like my late daddy. But Shisho told me to do balloon art instead. I guess the victim thought she had no talent as a Rakugo artist either. So you're still going to suspect a poor little thing like me? But please stop trying to skirt the issue. It all comes down to the scent of perfume and the cut on your forehead. You and the culprit in Owen's testimony share these two traits. You're dead set on accusing me, aren't you? Well, here's what I have for naughty little girls like you. With a twisty twist. I'm a cut, you witch! Go ahead, maybe testify all you want. When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it? Oh my! Is this yet another hidden personality? Simon, is everybody in Tornado School like this? How should I know? Oh, she snapped! Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. Shisho and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. I saw the note Shisho left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb them, you know. The perfume Owen smelled must have been left over from when I visited. So, Garrett, is this another DID? No, she's just mad. She's just mad because she's getting caught. She is definitely a crazed woman. So Geru's saying she went into the dressing room, but then left right away? Don't take her at her word. Come on, do you really think I would? I'm just trying to figure out how to get her to talk about what really happened. Now then, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. Shisho and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. I saw the note Shisho left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb him, you know.
Hold it!
Where did you find your master's note? I don't know. Can't remember. Did you notice anything else unusual or out of place in the room? Well, there was the sake and a half-eaten manju on the table, but I didn't see anything else out of place or whatever in the room, though. Oh, is that a fact? Of course it is! What do you think? And you didn't change anything around while you were in there. I didn't do anything! Look, I'm telling you! I didn't see anything funny near Shisho, and I didn't touch anything in the room. Your boldness. I request that Geru's last statement be added to her testimony. Simon! What's a statement like that going to do for us? Just play along and you'll see soon enough. Ugh! I have no problem with adding that to the testimony, but how about you, Miss Sykes? I have no problem with it either, Your Honor. What's Simon thinking? I didn't see anything funny near Shisho, and I didn't touch anything in the room. What about the car?
Objection!
Geru, you said that you didn't notice anything odd or unusual near your master. You also said you didn't touch anything in the dressing room. That's right! What about it? Then I wonder who left that dying message with the Karuta card. What are you going on about? It had been that Bucky! Sorry, but that's not possible, because only 3 people knew of Uendo's personalities. Uendo, your master, and you! Ah! If Bucky had left that Karuta message, he wouldn't have spelled out Owen. He would have spelled out Uendo. What it boils down to is this. As a member of the Tornado School, you, Gero Tornado, are the only one who could have left that dying message. And as the person who left that message, it's clear that you are Master Tornado's killer. Ah! Will you ever quit your yapping?
Objection!
You are like wretches, clinging to the spider thread of salvation. Not yet, Lukey. Not yet. Allow me to cut that holy thread from the heavens and bring you back down to earth. Would you quit butting in whenever things start to go my way? Silence, child. Playtime is over. What did you just say? As the witness stated, she went into the dressing room and soon came back out again. But the victim's note was not the only reason she left with such haste. There was another reason that compelled Geru to leave at once. Geru, would you please relate said reason to the court? There was a reason why Geru had to leave the dressing room? Well, I didn't want to show you this, but I guess I got no choice. Keep your eyes peeled, because here it comes. Your hand is all swollen and red. What happened, Geru? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat. What? Allergic reactions to buckwheat can vary, though they're usually on the severe side. With Typhoon Tornado making soba noodles in his dressing room, Geru is lucky to still be alive, considering all the soba flour that was swirling in the air. Good thing I left pretty quick. I managed to escape with just a mild reaction. I touched Shisho as he was being carried away, and look what it did to my poor hand! It must have been soba broth on his clothes or something. If I'd inhaled any of that soba flour, I'd have had a seizure, and it'd been good night, Geru. I never could have stayed in that dressing room for very long. A person allergic to buckwheat couldn't be in a room with soba flour in the air. They certainly couldn't use soba dough as a murder weapon either. This isn't good. You knew it would come to this, didn't you? That's why you never mentioned her allergy. As if I wouldn't do anything so underhanded. I was simply trying to protect the privacy of this witness. I'm sick of all these accusations. Why don't I just testify and get it all out in the open, yeah? Geru's buckwheat allergy. If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me. Look at my hand. Just touch a Shisho's body to cause this much damage. There must have been soba broth on his clothes. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. I still can't believe it. Nobody told me she had a soba allergy. Did you know, Simon? Does it look like I knew? Protect the privacy of the witness, my foot! What a dirty trick! And now what do we do? There's only one thing to do. The prosecutor Sadmont's ashamed with your cross-examination. Right! No matter how small, I'll find us an opening and break her testimony down. If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. You're not lying about this soba allergy of yours, right? Of course not! I swear on the grave of my father up in heaven. I can even get you a doctor's certificate if you want. She seems to be telling the truth. I've had this allergy for as long as I can remember, but I never dreamt in a million years it'd clear me of murder. And you'll come out of this smelling like a delicate buckwheat flour to boot. Well said, Your Honor. And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me. I'll give you that there was quite a bit of flour scattered about in that dressing room. But you went in to pay your respects to your master regardless, right? Yeah, but like I said, I came right back out. I mean, the soba making tools were right there. You better believe I was careful not to breathe any of it in. But you still could have committed this crime if you'd held your breath while doing it. Don't be ridiculous. I would have suffocated to death before Shisho did. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez, get a grip, will ya? Look at my hand. Just touch a Shisho's body caused this much damage. Maybe there's a twist here, like you're actually allergic to dogs and not soba. You kidding? Bring my little Jigemu in here. I'll hug and squeeze him like there's no tomorrow. I'm telling you, I have a genuine, honest-to-goodness soba allergy. Defense, the witness clearly has an authentic allergy to buckwheat. Any further deliberation of the matter would be meaningless, pointless, worthless. You heard the man, lawyer girl. All right, fine. Just starting to think the same thing myself. Doesn't mean I have to like it, though. Probably got this allergic reaction on my hand here because I touched Shisho. There must have been soba broth on his clothes. I have a question about that, actually. If you're allergic to soba, does that mean you're allergic to the noodle broth, too? Well, the buckwheat from the noodles can dissolve into the broth, so duh. Touching soba broth can be just as deadly for me. Don't you know anything? What an amateur. I'm sorry, do I look like a doctor to you? Look, anything that has soba in it, or anything that has touched soba, is like poison to me. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. So I just want to cover all of my bases, but could the murder have possibly occurred somewhere other than the dressing room? That is out of the question. By even asking, you show your complete disregard for all we have discussed until now. Yes, I have to agree. The defense can't go around suggesting new premises without basis. Unfortunately for you, Shisho didn't take a single step from his dressing room around the time of the murder. Well, that is unfortunate for everyone. Geru could not have possibly committed this crime in a room where soba was being made. Finally, the time has come for the last rites of the victim to begin. What would Mr. Wright do at a time like this? Okay, there's only one thing to do. What are you smiling about? Has the pressure overwhelmed you? Nope. It's just the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I see. You have no rebuttal, and so the only thing left to you is to smile. Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's where you're wrong. I do have a rebuttal. Turn your thinking around, Athena. Don't try to figure out how Geru, who is allergic to soba, could commit the crime. Figure out how Geru could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction instead. Let me rest? Ha! Maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough for udon noodles, but I'm fresh like my soba, and you don't like soba dough rest. All about the three freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles fresh. He's blacked out! It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting. Do not disturb. Yes, that's the note I saw. After reading that, who would think Shisha was napping? If you must know, I am allergic to buckwheat. Mon Dieu! What if that certain piece of evidence doesn't mean what we think it means? If that's the case, I might be able to prove that Geru could have committed this crime. No matter how hard you search your mind, you cannot overturn facts. Well, Miss Sykes, if you have no further objections, I'll hand down my ruling. True, I can't overturn facts, but what if we got our facts about a piece of evidence wrong? Got our facts wrong? What are you talking about now? And which piece of evidence do you mean, Miss Sykes? Please point it out to this court. This evidence proves that Geru could have killed her master, even with her sober allergy.
Take that!
It's Master Tonito's note. The note? Preposterous! What possible connection could there be between the witness's allergy and that note? The answer lies in the true meaning of this note. Its true meaning? This note does not mean I am resting, do not disturb, as we had assumed. But rather, it actually means this dough is resting, do not disturb it. Wait a minute, Athena, that doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't. After all, as Bucky told us many a time, you don't let soba dough rest. What's all this jibber-jabber got to do with anything? This is it, the home stretch. This note and Mr. Wet's words have led me to the conclusion that Master Tonito was making udon noodles. The victim, Taifu Tonito, was not making buckwheat noodles. He was making ordinary udon noodles instead! Pokunka! That layer of flour in the dressing room was a soba flour, but plain old wheat flour for udon. So actually, it was totally possible for Geru to be in that room and kill her master. What? But if that's true, it changes everything! Your Honor, defense requests that the flour in the room be tested immediately. The soba noodles were found in a bowl, and Geru did have a reaction on her hand. How do you explain those things? Well... the word udon flour instead of soba. You still cannot prove Geru committed the crime. But... lose your nerve now. Keep charging forward, you'll feel my blade at your back. And enough with the threats already, I got it! Talk about pressure. Alright, Athena, take a deep breath and go over everything again. I'm going to revisualize the case from start to finish. I have to find conclusive evidence that Geru committed this murder. What was Master Tonito making in his dressing room? Udon. Uh-huh. By my logic, Master Tonito must have been making udon noodles in his dressing room. But something at the crime scene indicates otherwise. What was found in the bowl on the